But next is Belinda Oosthuizen. She brings nearly 2 decades of expertise to the real estate sector. She began her career with SEEF in 2007 and launched her own real estate agency in 2011. And since then, she has served as principal of 4 further additional real estate agencies, aiding in their establishment and growth. And she's actually presently principal of two of her own agencies now as well. And then before her transition to real estate, Belinda worked as an internal auditor with the South African Defence Force, departing with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. And I look forward to hearing from you, Belinda.
I want to say, oh my word first, and apologizing for my picture. I only sent a picture to Elmarie because she was in my case. I did a lot of things today because Elmarie was in my case. She asked me to be here today. And I said yes, because I felt bad and everything. And as the time got closer, I thought, what did I do? Oh my goodness, why did I say yes? I did something like this, I think, 2001, when I left the Defence Force, is the last time I did something like this. So let's start. Hello, thank you for having me here today. Okay, whenever I get the question of the pros and cons of becoming a principal and running your own business, it's usually from an estate agent who's doing extremely well with his sales, and they get to the point where they think, well, I'm spending way too much money for the company that I'm working. They're not utilizing the commission that I give to them very good to my benefit, and they start considering going on their own. As you've heard, I have been principal to 4 other agencies as well, while they were obtaining their qualifications. What you do not know, I have said no to more agencies, of agents that requested me to be their principal. Mainly due to the discussion, sorry, I've been still getting healthy, mainly due to the discussions I had with them of what it entails to run your own business. Usually I will always encourage you to do your own business or go for it. Can I just quickly see how many principals are here today? Oh, we're not much now, but we're a few that did that. So I'm going to give you a very brief overview of what it entails to run a business. Immediately, you will have 2 options. You can go via the franchise option, which is very convenient. You already have a brand name established. On the documentation and supports side, it's very convenient. You have a head office that makes sure that your contracts are up to date, your MDFs, your O2Ps, your rental agreements. Everything is there for you, ready to use on that side of the business. You will have a website usually also to use. Con side, you will not be able to get your franchise for fee. You will have to buy it. In case you did not know, it's quite expensive, depending on who you're using. Usually there is a franchise fee payable monthly. I don't think they let you pay less if you had a good month in sales. I think the amount stays the same. So you will not be able to get a discount if it was a bad month for you. You will be restricted by some rules. Some of the franchise I know is area bound, so you will not be able to work everywhere you can. There are always some limits in advertising. Obviously, every brand wants to have their image broadcast the same way in South Africa. So if you think of reality, of Remax or XP, something comes up in your mind because that's the way you see them advertised always. So you will have to comply with those rules. If you go the route like I did, be your own boss, I want to do that one last because that's the most important one. You have a bit more options and that you can do. Commission-wise, everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to give less commission to the company. I can take more commission. No, it's not like that. You will have to look at your finance. You must make sure that your company has enough money every month to pay all your expenses. And the most expensive thing every principal here would tell you is your marketing, your advertising. Probably the most important thing for you will be Property 24. I don't want to say much about Property 24, but the principals here will understand why I do not want to talk about Property 24. Just to give you an idea, we are only 3 agents in my company, so I really kept it small. My Property 4 account only is just under 7,000 Rand a month. When I haven't paid my other advertising that I'm doing, I haven't paid my auditors, I haven't put money aside for future events that I want to do, because you must always have that bit of backup money to do for sales signs and things like that. That's just Property 24, and then you have to start the rest. So if you do think it's cheap for a company to keep you as an agent, it's not. If you do not sell that month, it is expensive for every company to have an agent that's not selling every month, because your expenses stay the same. It's not less because you didn't sell that month. Administration-wise, it's a bit, depends on, you can always get an office manager, which is nice. I'm good with administration, so I do my own. And I'm small, so it's easy to do. To get the OTPs and the MDFs ready is a bit of a frustration, as most of that is not being done with you. But if you have we all got good relationships with attorneys. They're usually very eager to assist and just checking to see if you do not put something in your contract that's not supposed to be there. And then legal, you got your SARS, you got your FICA, all that stuff running that you need to adhere to as a principal. Growth, at least you got no limitations, no restrictions, not area bound. And I've seen some of the companies, there's companies in my areas that are building a franchise. They're now in Pretoria East, Pretoria North. I've seen them Moed. So they're expanding their own franchise, and they just started their own thing. And now, before you're too depressed, there are other companies that are really assisting us as agents, principal agents. For my rentals, I use PayProp, for example, and TPN. PayProp basically runs my full administration for me. I just must make sure that it's typed incorrectly. Keep my deposits, the trust accounts, everything. TPN, you can get every contract that you can think of needing as a rental agent, you can get from them. And then if you're clever like I am, you team up with a company called FK Consulting, who's one of our guest speakers here today, Frida Koy. I usually attend her sessions. She's very knowledgeable about the code of conduct, about training, what needs to be, especially on the MDS, that kind of stuff. So Frida became a very important person in my life to make sure that I do not overstep something that I was supposed to do and do not miss something. And then we all know, auditors, we all have good bookkeepers. Your auditors can do your bookkeeping for you. You can make sure that you're not in trouble with SARS. I always say, keep your people happy and keep SARS happy. Those are most 2 important people in your life that can make it very difficult to be a principal agent. Now the last one that I want to tend to, be the boss. Now that was the main reason why I went on my own, working many years for a defense force and for a franchise for a few years. You get to a point where you're tired of doing stuff that you think is stupid. Well, I think it's stupid. Or doing something that I think is not necessary to do. So as my own boss, I can do really what I want to do. But there's something important that you need to consider about being your own boss. You cannot delegate this responsibility. This is the biggest responsibility you will have as a principal. If you lose your FFC or it's being withdrawn by the PPRA, your company cannot proceed. Your agents cannot register, or the agents cannot renew their fidelity funds. So you can have an office manager, you can have whoever you want to doing the work for you, but everything stops with you. And if you're not ready for that responsibility, it will not work. Even if your agents mess up, you're in trouble with them. I've got a colleague there at the back. The other day we had a bit of a small pity party, wishing we had a boss for just one day that can sort out our problems, especially on the housing tribunal side sometimes. Just one day, I want someone that I can tap and say, please go for me, sort this out, and I can just do nothing, do not worry, it's being sorted. So I must admit that is the one thing I do miss of having my own business is I do sometimes need a boss. So the thing what I a lot of times said no to the agents was because it didn't look to me like they were willing to accept that responsibility as a principal. So to conclude, in conclusion, whether you work as an agent or as a principal agent, there is no right or wrong. Know yourself, know your situation, and do what is best for you. Thank you for having me.